A multi-sided shape can be drawn with the polygon tool, but may begin as a rectangle to which additional sides are added. Polygons can also be created by combining shapes. The polygon may be the logo symbol itself, or may be an enclosing shape that in some way evokes the nature of the business. Here are some polygon examples. I'm going to begin with an octagon. Choose my polygon tool. I want it to be centered on the logo, so I'm going to hold down Option or Alt and then click and drag. And if I need to add to the number of sides, that's the up arrow. To remove, that's the down arrow. To put the polygon on a flat plane, hold down the Shift key. And in this case, I do not want it to have a fill. So an octagon is the shape of a stop sign, so the shape itself carries the message of the logo. In this instance, which I realize is not really a polygon, it's a rectangle, but I'm going to distort this using my direct selection tool, just grabbing the bottom right-hand anchor point and then skewing that so that we emulate the slant of the type. And another rectangle that I'm going to distort. Here, I'm going to take this one rectangle and make it 1/4 of its current size, then duplicate it, holding down the Option or Alt key, select those two and duplicate those again. Now we'll select everything and I will come and choose my Free Transform tool. I'll get the Free Distort tool and we can just skew it like so to give a sense of perspective. And I think I might also want to group it together and maybe make it a little bit smaller and then bring it a little bit closer to the type. Let's now look at combining shapes. I am going to select the horizontal rectangle here, and I want to get the top left and the bottom right points and move them. So I'm going to start out with the top left, holding down the Shift key, I'm going to drag that to the right. I need to make sure I move this one the equivalent distance to the left. So with it selected, I will come to my Move option, Transform, Move, and make sure that that is a minus number, like so. Then we can select both of those, come to the Pathfinder panel and combine them into one shape. I'm going to add anchor points to this rectangle. I'll press P to switch to my pen tool, and I want to add an anchor point at the top center and at the bottom center. And then I'm going to bring the top one up a bit, and I want the bottom one to move down the equivalent distance. Then I'm going to select that shape, tap E to access my Free Transform tool and use its Perspective Distort options and pull out from the top left or right. Now to have the type match that shape, to fill that shape, I'm going to select it and come to Warp and choose Arc Warp. And I want to make sure that I get the similar angle on the L and the E that we've established here on the side of the polygon. So I think I just want slightly less than that. Let's go with 8%. And I'm now going to just scale up the type, holding down Alt and Shift to make it fill that space. I'm going to select both of those and then combine them into one shape. I'll come and choose my direct selection tool and round the corners. And then I'm going to come and choose my Perspective tool from Free Transform and pull that out from the top left or right. And I can now just make it not quite so wide so that it surrounds the type. And then I also want to add a curve to the top. So I'll come and choose my pen tool. I will tear off my pen tool panel and come and choose the anchor point tool. And I now just want to drag that anchor point up like so. In this example, once again, we want to use the Free Transform Perspective option. And I'm going to drag out from top left or right. I'll come and choose the pen tool, add an anchor point, bottom center, the anchor point tool, and then I can pull that segment up to give it a curve like so. I'm going to drag down a guide just to indicate how far that curve needs to go, because I want to do the equivalent on the right side. And then I think I'm just going to bring the whole thing in a bit to surround the type. So I'm going to start out with the top shape and then come to my Free Transform, Perspective Distort. I'm going to pull this in from the top And then I'll choose the bottom shape, E for my free transform, perspective distort once again. And I'm now going to pull this in until it actually intersects with the lines of the top shape. I can then select both and combine them into a single shape.